So today we continue solving trig equations with second degree trig equations. Today they'll all be factorable. To kind of take it slow, tomorrow we'll have to use our quadratic formula. But today we're going to factor, some more factoring practice. In your packet, open up to today's lesson. I'm actually going to do the first two must-dos with you as your video notes to get some stuff out of the way because it's kind of long. So for number one, it's algebraic, it's not trig. I make my fraction go away by multiplying through by the denominator x. I get 2x squared minus x minus 3 equals 0, and I can factor that by splitting the middle. So split the middle to factor. And you end up with factors of x plus 1 and 2x minus 3. Set your factors equal to 0 and solve. So here x is negative 1, x is 3 halves. You've been doing that for a long time. Not a big deal. The only difference in the problem next to that is that instead of x's we have sine thetas. Math is consistent. So instead of multiplying everything through by x, I multiply through by sine theta. And I get 2 sine squared theta minus sine theta equals 3. Set it equal to 0. And factor. So again, when you go through the factoring, you're going to end up with factors here of sine theta plus 1 and 2 sine theta minus 3. Okay, set your factors equal to 0 and solve. So you have sine theta equals negative 1 and sine theta equals 3 halves. Now, you need to take it a step further when it's trig. So you need to think about where on your unit circle is the y value of your coordinate negative 1. So make a quick sketch of your unit circle and think about where your y value is negative 1. It was only negative 1 at 270 degrees. So here your only answer is 270 degrees. Sine and cosine can never be greater than 1. So when you get those fractions like 3 halves, you just reject that answer. All right, so the second one, let's do algebraically first and then connect it to the trig. So when I look at 4x squared minus 1, I see the difference of two squares. 2x minus 1 times 2x plus 1. So we're going to factor that way. Set your factors equal to 0 and solve. So add 1 from the left, subtract 1 from the right. X is positive 1/2 and negative 1/2. Fair enough. Similarly, you can have difference of two squares with trig too. So 2 cosine theta minus 1 times 2 cosine theta plus 1 is how 4 cosine squared theta minus 1 factors. Set those factors equal to 0 and solve. So cosine theta is positive 1/2 and cosine theta is negative 1/2. Okay, again, back to your unit circle. You're going to have a couple different sets of answers. Cosine is 1/2 at 60 degrees. So one of your answers is 60 degrees. You also need to find the 60 degree child in the other quadrant where cosine is positive, which happens to be quadrant 4, and that answer is 300. Now you find where cosine is negative 1/2. So in the 60 degree child in quadrants 2 and 3 are 120 and 240. Notice we have 4 answers. Yesterday when we solved first degree trig equations, we had 2 answers often. Today you'll have up to 4 answers. So again, first 2 problems in your packet done. Remember, math is consistent. You don't always need to solve algebraically first, but it just helps some people. So I show that a couple of times for a few days. That's it. Have a great night.